Hello, women of welcome. I am Sarah Quezada, and I'm excited to talk today about one of our most commonly asked questions, which is, what do I say when I call my representatives? So there are lots of times when we as a community are discussing headlines or different policy issues in the news, and women in our community will ask, what can I do? What do I do about this? Which is a very valid question. And many times, our response includes, at least as one of the options, an encouragement to call our lawmakers. Some of these things are best addressed through policy and different things. And as we've talked a lot in this community, especially during the most recent election season, our civic engagement, our commitment to our neighbors and the policies that impact them are not limited to one vote every 4 years. But calling our lawmakers is a way to stay engaged, to hold accountable the people in office who have taken a commitment to serve their constituencies. And so this is our engagement in letting them know what people in their district are concerned about and want to see them work on. And so when I first, to be honest with you, when I was first encouraged to start calling Congress about different things, I thought, oh, yikes, that might not be something that I'm best suited for, because, maybe other people know what they're suggesting or, all the details of the issue. I think in my imagination, I imagined that these lawmakers would be asking for my opinion on how to solve these issues or what policy suggestions I had to make. I realize now that that is not the case whatsoever. In fact, if it helps, one of the things I learned very early on is that you are rarely ever, if ever, speaking to your actual lawmakers. You're typically talking to congressional aides who tend to be college-age people. And so the first place to start is to go to whoaremyrepresentatives.org. You can type in your zip code and it'll let you know who represents you in Congress. And so it'll give your 2 senators for your state and the representative for the House of Representatives from the area where you live. And so these are the 3 people representing you in Congress, and you can also call the White House. A quick Google search will turn up the number for making that call. But again, you are unlikely to speak to any of these lawmakers directly. And so that for me was a huge relief. It kind of took some of this pressure off that I thought I would be like standing on the congressional floor making a case. This is really an opportunity to say, hi, my name is Sarah and I live in your district. So letting them know your geography is really important. They need to know that they represent you. So that might be saying what county you live in, what city, state, if you're talking to senators, and to let them know that you are part of their constituency. The second thing that can be really important to bring up when you call your lawmakers, again, you might be leaving this message on an answering machine or you'll be telling it to an aide, but you can mention where you're from and then also any affinity groups that you're a part of that they might be interested in. So for example, if you are of the same party as the political party as the representative that you're calling, you might mention that, particularly if you voted for them, to let them know, I'm someone who voted for you and I care about this. Other affinity groups that your representatives might be interested in, evangelical Christian, pastor, public school teacher, nurse, some of these different affinity groups that you might hear them say, this group of people traditionally votes this way or traditionally thinks this way about this issue. Particularly if you think something different than what they might assume, you want to acknowledge that you're a part of that affinity group. And then the third thing you want to say, so you have where you're from, kind of who you are, and then what you care about. And so this is simply just letting them know, these are the issues that I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about families waiting at the border to go through the asylum process. I'm concerned about dreamers who need a permanent solution from Congress. I'm concerned about how few refugees we are currently admitting to the United States. And that is really all you have to say. There may be occasions, and we sometimes try to let you know this if we know, for example, with the refugee issue, there was an encouragement to ask that the refugee ceiling be set at 50,000 or higher. And so sometimes you'll have that more specific language around different policy, but a lot of times you're just letting them know, I want you to work on this. There is an element of our government that the squeaky wheel gets the oil. And so it's letting them know this is what people in your district are thinking about this. And this is something that I want you to be working on. And hopefully they will take that to heart and move forward. And we've seen it happen. We saw it happen with zero tolerance. And we've seen it happen in other ways where officials are compelled to act because people in their district are saying, this is important, please respond accordingly. And again, a lot of times these aides are not taking down your name or your ideas for how to solve these problems. They're often making tally marks and saying, here's what we're hearing about this issue from the district. We got 56 calls saying this, and we got 47 calls saying this. And so they are simply trying to get some data to get a pulse of what people in their district think. And so this is a way for us to speak up and say, just a reminder, we care about this, and it can be really, really effective. So I encourage you to do it. If you feel a little freaked out about it, I give you all my solidarity. I'm always a little bit sweaty and my heart's beating fast when I'm finished, but it really is extremely accessible, and I know you can do it. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments and I will respond. And if you have called your lawmakers, let us know and encourage other women to do the same, because it really is one way that we can speak up and participate in our government on behalf of those in our communities. All right, thanks.